All right, what we got? We got Money in the Bank 2013, ladies and gentlemen. This Money in the Bank, oh my goodness gracious. I don't know what to make of the show. There was some stuff here that was some pretty good mess, but certain things really was weird. The opening of the show for the kickoff, Usos versus the Shield. I didn't expect the Usos to win. I didn't. I was hoping they would. Now I know I've heard people say, who really cares about the Usos? It doesn't matter. But I'm saying this, the guys have been around more than a few years and everybody else has had their shot at the title and has had it. Even Hell No had it. So I'm surprised they've never had a chance to hold the titles. Either, like I said in one of my, I did a video on the Usos at least last year. And I said either they pissed someone off in the back really badly or something else. And I asked some people, do you know what it could be? I still don't know what it is. This is like the second time in the last 5 years they had a shot at the titles and have not won it. I can understand the Shield cannot be dropped yet. But you could have used someone else. You could have used Tons of Fun. I'm sorry. You could have. For them, it doesn't matter if they have the ability or not to really be good tag champions. They deserve it by now to have those titles. Everybody else, including their mother, have had those fucking titles. Let them have it. Let them have a short run with it and let it be over with. Because they deserve at least to have the titles at least once. They had the NXT titles, I believe. Or the Superstar titles. They never had these. So I'm going to move on to the first match of the night, which is the SmackDown Money in the Bank. I enjoyed this Money in the Bank more than the second one. And I'm not saying that the match itself wasn't good. It's the storytelling throughout it wasn't bad. Because the way it went, when you see We the People of the Trucker Jack Swagger and Antonio Cesaro going up against Rogue Scholars, that was some good thing that you wonder, could they have a feud? So that was a tease. I know it wasn't going to happen, but it felt good to see it. Seeing Antonio and the Trucker Jack Swagger work together, where the Trucker had Antonio on his shoulders, and I believe it was Cody who drop kicked his ass clean out of his boots. I'm surprised Jack Swagger didn't pop his knees. You got a 200 some odd pound man on your shoulders, going over to Money in the Bank, trying to the Money in the Bank contract. Oh man, I have to say the briefcase was highlighted very well by how these guys were trying to grab it. And by the end of it, especially when Fandango did a couple of good things, including powerbombing a... Woo! I'm surprised he managed to pull that powerbomb off on a wave pretty well. It looked good. I enjoyed the SmackDown one, and I haven't been seeing it. Sorry, one of my cats. I haven't seen a lot of SmackDown lately, but seeing this Money in the Bank has now given me more interest. That's the reason why I thought that this Money in the Bank was more interesting than the Raw one. Because I haven't been seeing much of SmackDown. Like I said, there's a lot been going on in this area I'm living in. It's been very hot. And I've been extremely exhausted. So it's been hard to see SmackDown. So seeing this is making me very interested in going back and seeing the product. In the end, what did we get? And this reminds me of what I said many, many months ago about Cody and about Damian, that sooner or later Cody would turn face and Damian would stay heel. We've never seen Cody as a face. And now seeing that Damian had the Money in the Bank and basically screwed Cody out of it, makes you see that might be a tease for them. Is it going to be an actual feud between Cody and Damian? I believe there might be. Sorry for the cat noise. But do I believe there could be a possibility there's going to be a feud between these two? Yes. I really believe that now they've turned Cody face. He was presented better than anyone in this Money in the Bank. So, we'll know this Raw. It's going to be shown. Sooner or later, they're going to show it. Now, I'm going to get this over with quickly. You know what? I'll leave that for later. The one I'm getting rid of now is I'm not going in order. The Ryback versus Jericho. I had no interest in it. I'm sorry. I said this before and I'll say it again in my previous videos. When it came to Ryback and came to Chris Jericho, the person that has been most highlighted is Jericho. So I expected Jericho to win this. Because what is the point of Ryback winning over Jericho when they have barely presented the man? They have barely shown him being dominant. They have barely shown him being a credible monster heel. He wins this match by a roll-up. And he says at the end of the match, done! No shell shock. Why would he do this? Saying that when he gets his shell shock done, that is when he says it. That is his signature move. That is when he says that, finish, done. And the only thing he did was a roll-up. I said this before. Ryback is going away. I believe this is the first true sign of how terrible Ryback is, and they need to send him away. Ryback had no interest. I mean, they had some good cheers in this. I can say that the crowd in Philly was epic. It was so good. It made the show really interesting. But I could not save this match. I had no interest in this match. They could have let Jericho have this match and just let Ryback continue having a losing streak. But now they decided after how many months? Since last year, when he started having the slide going down in Money in the Bank. Now he gets it a year later? You serious? Does that fill me with any interest in him? No. He was a monster. He could have been a face or a heel as long as they made him a monster where he didn't need to be chicken shit, where he can basically beat anybody and steamroll his way through anyone and not be afraid. But in this case, I don't care. Now I'm moving on to the Divas Championship. AJ and Caitlyn. And the gorgeous, oh my goodness, gorgeous Layla. That woman just turns any man's crank. She's so beautiful. Most of the time when I really said this last time that I think the cameraman has a crush on her because he focused a good amount of chances on this woman the last time. Not as many this time, but you can see how beautiful Layla is, and I think the guy likes her. But the point of this is this. That the crowd wasn't 100% into the match, but they were interested, particularly how AJ was being technical. I mean, she did some technical stuff, but I agree with the Sleg Daddy, or it could be, I think it might have been Mr. Parkin at one point, a while ago. He said that they're really going against the grain with AJ because she's more of a face than she is a heel. She is. And even though she did win this by submission, and the point where Caitlyn kicked AJ off the ring and Mickey caught her in the air again, this really makes me feel she needs to be a face. So, what did we get from this Divas Championship? Not a lot. I mean, it was interesting to see how they tore down a Caitlyn to build, if they're going to build her back up. But really, it wasn't that interesting for me personally. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't interesting. So I'm moving on to the Axel versus Miz. And this was a good match. Seeing that the Miz tried to out-trick a Paul Heyman, basically showing that he got knocked out, hit the floor like a bitch, holding his face like he smacked me like a little kid. But the ref fell for it, and then we got Paulie got kicked out. So it was a one-on-one. It was a clever move. But what did it accomplish here? Well, it accomplished that Axel needed to have a win by himself without a Paulie there, which I didn't mind it. It was good to see him struggle against The Miz, and I'm not glad The Miz is doing the figure four because he's not doing it accurately. By him arching his body that way, that may say, oh, it gives it more torque. But you never seen Triple H do that, or Ric Flair, or anyone else. I just don't feel comfortable The Miz using the figure four anymore. I said this before and I'll say it again. The person who should have got the figure four, honestly, was Edge. Edge should have been the one that had the figure four leg lock, but they had no choice but to give it to Miz. And I don't think The Miz is doing very well with that figure four anymore. I think he should drop it. So I'm going to move on to the... I better get this over with now. out of me. And if a Smokey is watching this, counting whenever the Slug Daddy uploads this, or an AJ, Mr. AJ, I believe he would agree with me here. This match fucking sucked. It was not bad, but the ending was stupid. And I'm talking about Cena versus Mark Henry. Look, Mark Henry was basically slated to be a dominant heel. He never got beaten by Cena. Cena constantly kept losing. Every time, those 2 times they were seen. But in the end, what did we get at the end of the match? Now, if Cena overpowered him and stuff, I think I could handle that. I didn't expect Cena to lose. But seeing that Mark Henry had to go to such helix, he had to act like a fucking chicken shit heel, cheating as much as he fucking can to win. I understand and say he'll do anything to win, but come on, Mark Henry was slated to be a dominant heel. If he lost that way, okay. But this, tearing 2 turnbuckles, kicking Cena in the nuts, what, and then getting 2 submissions put on him, and then tapping in the second one. What did we get? Especially Cena at the end, acting, come on, come get me. What the fuck was that? They're saying, oh, he's being really respectful to a Mark Henry because Mark Henry is that dangerous and dominant. No, he fucking isn't when he has to go and become chicken shit and he has to do anything he can to win. Sometimes you need a heel who can dominate and destroy without going to chicken shit stuff or cheating. Mark Henry has been slated terrible for the last 9 months when he went through, no, 6 months, when he went through Sheamus, when he went through Ryback, and when he went through now John Cena. They did a decent job with Ryback. They did. And that's the reason why he won at WrestleMania. But in this case, come on. This is bullshit. I didn't like this match. If he had lost clean, alright. But this, I'm moving on to the last Money in the Bank match. The Raw Money in the Bank. What do we get? We got a good match. The ones that were the most dominant there was Sheamus and who was it? Yeah, Sheamus, Bryan were the most dominant to me. Now RVD, when he came out, was epic. The people were screaming. I'm not a big RVD fan. I'm not. But the crowd made it feel epic. They could have put Triple H in that position and it would be screaming. It would still feel epic because they really love RVD. It was the crowd that made most of these matches. And I'm not forgetting the Dolph and the ADR. That's last. But I'm putting this out now because I wanted to. But the match itself was very good. Near the end, we get a Curtis Axel come out. And then messes with a Daniel Bryan. So there's I thought at first, are they going to have a Daniel Bryan and Curtis Axel feud? But then when I saw Paulie come out, I said, no, there's got to be something more. It's got to be an Axel versus Punk feud. And then when we see a Punk get punked out by a Paulie with the ladder, that made me realize that they're not going for the Brock Lesnar yet. And if they are, this is a perfect way to structure it. Because this coming Raw, you could have Paulie come out with Brock Lesnar or could come out with Curtis Axel or both. And say, these are my guys. They are Paulie guys. And they do it right. Or it could be separate. Either one or the other. But I expected Daniel Bryan to win this. I wasn't too fond of Daniel Bryan being there. But that was how they were slating it. At least that's what I felt. And that's what a lot of people felt. But Randy Orton, making me fucking itch. Do I believe it's the right move to put a Randy Orton there? Well, see it like this. Randy Orton has been a good boy since the last wellness program. He has put over some stars, like a Daniel Bryan. He's jobbed him more than a few times. So maybe the brass thought, you know, Randy, you've been doing pretty good. You have been jobbing to certain people. You haven't been acting stupid. You've been showing respect to the fans. And you've been keeping clean. We're going to give you Money in the Bank and you're going up against John Cena. We may even let you win. So I'm thinking Randy Orton has hopefully turned heel after this, because he's better as a heel than he is as a face. But does that make me feel good to know that a Randy Orton-John Cena feud is coming up? Well, the thing is that I didn't see a lot of Randy Orton-John Cena when they had their feud in 2008 to 2007, 2009, whatever. I saw some of it. But do I believe that's going to be wise? Honestly, no. The person they could have put was Daniel Bryan, but we know he was going to lose. The worst person they could have put was RVD. So it looks like they had no option but to put Randy Orton there, because they haven't faced each other in so long. They had no option. Does it make me feel happy to have that option? No. But this is what we got. Ugh. So the last match I'm going to talk about is ADR versus Dolph Ziggler. Very good match. The crowd was jizzing in their pants for Dolph Ziggler. I expected Dolph to win this. But here's the question. Why the fuck did they put an AJ out there to end the relationship? AJ is the one that cost Dolph the match. Coming out there, skipping around, then hits ADR in the face with the Divas title, which I think is the first time since its existence it's been used properly. I'm sorry. The Divas Championship has been a joke. I think this is the first time it's actually been used properly. But do I agree with this? No. Because this is the best way for them to, I believe, to break up AJ and Dolph. Unless they're going to be doing, that's what I believe. They're breaking up AJ and Dolph, so AJ and Biggie Langston would have a reason to go after Dolph. That's what I'm getting from this. So Biggie is going to go after Dolph Ziggler, who should be facing ADR. They must think that Dolph is not ready to be champion. So as a face now, they need to go after, have him go after a smaller, more chewable opponent. Because they're going to have to let him chew Biggie Langston and spit him out to make this work. I don't understand this show. I mean, it makes some level of sense, but do I agree with it? Some of it? No. I do not agree with most of this stuff. I don't agree with Ryback. I don't agree with AJ. What happened with Dolph? It made no sense. The only thing left that I want to talk about before I end this is the Brad Maddox segment. Nice. This leads into Brad Maddox rehiring Vicky as his subordinate. They did a little video montage of Vicky screaming, "Ah!" showing a little bit of cleavage when she was younger. That's what I feel. Brad Maddox is going to rehire Vicky as his subordinate this coming Raw. If it's not this coming, it's going to be next Raw, I believe. My rating for this, I don't know what to give it, like a B minus. I wasn't 100% into this show. I love the crowd. I love most of the matches, but the results of most of the matches suck. The last thing I want to talk about is, I was going to do a video separately. I'm just going to make it short. This is my year anniversary today, the 15th. 1 year ago today, I loaded my first video of Chris Benoit, my review of him. Now, I know a lot of people are not fond of him, but I thought that was the best way to start my videos, because I was a Chris Benoit fan and I tried to see it from a good point of view. I want to thank everybody for looking at these videos for all these months. I don't have big numbers, and if I did, I would still feel the same. I would thank everyone who's willing to leave a comment or even watch my videos or even subscribe or give it an up, you know? I'm not a big flashy person. I'll say, hey, I've done this, but I just can't. That's just not my character. But I want to thank everybody who's been watching my videos. I'm a much better person than I was a year ago. I was very depressed, frustrated, and very sad, and I'm not like that anymore. I'm very happy. So I hope you enjoyed this Money in the Bank 2013. Subscribe and comment to my channel, ladies and gentlemen. And I will be getting out my Raw soon. And I still say it again. Brad Maddox is hiring Vicky Guerrero so he can bend her over and do whatever the hell he wants. Have a good day.